everyone, and welcome back to my channel. That's it. So, I had a conversation with my husband last night about Erika Kirk, and he was telling me that he believes that Erika Kirk is a plant. And I asked my husband, "What do you mean?" Oh, everything was staged, like the whole her meeting Charlie Kirk, how it was a political arranged marriage. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you have to give me more information. You can't just be saying something about someone and not have anything to back it up. And my husband was like telling me, well, it's the way how how the relationship was set up, how it was planted. I'm like, you have to give me examples. And then he told me to look up some old footage, and I'm like, "Ugh, just tell me, try to explain." And basically, he was like saying just the way, like her behavior, like how she's when he died, that when she was doing interviews and stuff like that, and this book press tour, that she was not very she was very performative. She was acting. She was not really giving like real sincere um, talks about Charlie Kirk and everything. Everything was just like rehearsed. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I went back on my social media page, and I read, like, hundreds, maybe thousands of comments of other people saying exactly the same thing. Basically, oh, they feel like Erica is a plant. They feel like, um, the way she speaks is very performative. It's just acting. It's not. There's no tears. Which, when she did her interview with Jesse Waters, I saw tears. Okay, I saw tears running through her face. So that can't be fake unless they add some fake teardrops in her eyes. I don't know. You know what I mean? And I told my husband, I don't want to go through that rabbit hole. If she's a plant, I need some actual proof to of that claim, because that's a very serious accusation, saying that Erika Kirk is a plant, and this was all arranged just to control Charlie Kirk, just to watch him, because Charlie Kirk was, for obviously he was for the Israel, and then he was pro-Israel, and now years later, now he's have a different stance on Israel, and most of the Zionists as well. So that's hard for me to believe that that she's a plant. Again, I need proof of that. You know what I mean? I don't want to go through like conspiracy theories. I actually need to go. I actually, excuse me, to see proof if that is true. If you're going to make an accusation of towards someone, towards Erika Kirk, you have to have proof and claims to back up your claims. Excuse me. You have to back up your story. And then and when people say that she's performative or she's acting, she's not being very sincere. Her facial expression, people were analyzing everything, and I'm like thinking, like, did I miss something? Was I hiding underneath the rock? Because I don't know. Like when I watch her giving her speech on Charlie for Charlie Kirk Memorial, I don't know. Maybe I was going through grief as well, and I was processing everything as well. Like I told my husband, I'm like, the death of Charlie Kirk, it hit everyone. You know what I mean, including me. I never met the guy. You know what I mean, but I heard of him. I heard of him starting Turning Point USA from the ground up, and for a guy that didn't go to college, built a successful organization, a man that traveled all around the world to debate young college students, prove me wrong, and doing amazing things for his organization. And when the whole world witnessed of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a bullet went through his neck. We were all shocked and disbelief. We all couldn't believe this is happening in real time, that this man was assassinated in public for the whole world to see. And when I listened to Erika Kirk's speech on that memorial for Charlie Kirk, I was still grieving myself, even though I never met this man. Okay, I was dealing with my own thought process, because to actually witness what I saw, a bullet went through this man's neck, fell back, okay, fighting for his life. thank God, according to Erika Kirk, that he was not in pain, he was not suffering. Thank God for that. It was quick. I was still in disbelief that this happened. Two, Charlie Kirk is dead. I was still processing it to the point that I was not really paying attention to Erika Kirk, her body language, her if she was being performative or not, or she was acting, or she was not being sincere. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I was not paying attention to that because I was going through my own grieving thing. You know what I mean? I was going through my own grieving process that I did not notice the stuff that other people had noticed about Erika Kirk. What I noticed was a grieving widow who lost the love of her life, the father of her children, her best friend, to the whole world. The whole world saw this man was publicly executed, okay, to set a prime example. At that time, we didn't know what was the prime example, why this happened to Charlie Kirk. We didn't know until 3 months later. We were, a lot of people were doing the investigation, a lot of stuff didn't make any sense. Now, I asked myself when I had this conversation with my husband, when he believes that Erika is a plant, that Erika is all acting, he believes that she didn't really love Charlie Kirk, and all of this was just to get rid of Charlie Kirk so she can step up and be CEO and just be back on pro-Israel and be back on the donors' good graces and some of the Zionists. So when he told me this and we had this conversation about this, I had to do my research and figure out who is Erika Kirk. Who is she? Who is she really? Who is Erika Kirk? Because quite frankly, to be honest with you, I don't know who she is. The only thing that I know, meaning that she is the wife of Charlie, the husband, no, the wife of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, the mother of his children. You know what I mean? And she was doing faith turning point. She was doing that aspect as well. But who is Erika Kirk? Like, who is she? So I had to look her up and basically Google her. And I went to Wikipedia, and this is what Wikipedia says about Erika Kirk. Erika Lane Kirk, born on November 20th, 1988. She's an American businesswoman, nonprofit executive, and broadcaster. She is the chairwoman and CEO of the conservative organization Turning Point USA. Her late husband, Charlie Kirk, co-founder and led until his assassination on September 10th of 2025. She was appointed as the successor following his death. Now, her education, she went to Arizona State University, Liberal University as well. I mentioned to you her occupations, her title, her spouse. She has 2 children. She was a beauty pageant title holder, Miss Arizona USA in 2012, major competition in Miss USA 2012. What else? Erika Kirk previously won Miss Arizona USA in 2012 and participated in Miss USA 2012. And apparently Donald Trump was one of the, I want to say contestants, but he did, because I know Donald Trump in the past, he did beauty pageants and stuff like that. Which this I didn't know that she had, Erika Kirk had a nonprofit organization called Supporting Under Recognizing Charity. The organization called Everyday Heroes Like You. So basically, it was an organization in Romania for young children. What else I could say? Blah blah blah. That's about it. She was raised in Scotland, Arizona. Following her parents' divorce, her grandfather was an immigrant from Sweden. She was raised in a Catholic family with her mother, taking her, to soup kitchens to help. She has said she entered beauty pageant as a way to contribute to the community, stating, "My mom used to take us to soup kitchens and constantly said we needed to share our blessings with others. When I learned that my competitive, I could touch more people, further my causes, I knew it was a chance to make a great impact." In 2006, Erika established Everyday Heroes Like You, organization that she described a way to promote and highlight that everyday heroes in our communities who have philanthropist desire to truly make a difference in the lives of others with natural programs. She attended Notre Dame um, Prep High School in Scottsdale, Arizona, where she played basketball, volleyball, earning the Matt Arno Sportsmanship and Teammate Awards. Played basketball for 2 years at Ridge University in Denver, Colorado, appearing in 8 games in 2007 through 2008 season as reserve. She completed her undergrad studies at Arizona State University, receiving a degree in politician political science and international relations. And her career, like I said, Miss Arizona USA. She studied biblical studies as of 2025. So she's really good, and she knows her Bible. She knows the scriptures very well. As you can see, she likes to quote a lot of scriptures in the Bible. And then she started dating Charlie Kirk, and started dating in New York City in 2019. They became engaged in December 2020. Charlie was a co-founder of Turning Point USA. They married on May 8th of 2021 in Scottsdale, Arizona. T Point USA funded a wedding receptions held in a Fairmount Scottsdale Princess Hotel, and you know the rest. Then the couple obviously have two children. A daughter was born in 2022, and their son was born in 2024. And you know the rest, that on September 10th, Kirk's husband was assassinated while speaking at Utah Valley University. Stop of his American comeback tour. So yeah, so that what we know. Like I said, I didn't know about her organization that she had in Romania, but according to this article that I want to pull up for you, and I don't think did I pull it up. Let me see if this is not it. Sorry, you guys. Let's see. Did I pull it up? I don't think I pulled up the thing. Oh my gosh. I didn't do this. I am so sorry, you guys. While I'm looking for it, I'm just going to read it because I just don't want to waste your time and putting it up there. I thought I put it up there for you guys can see it while I'm reading it, but apparently I didn't do that. So I'm just going to read to you this article. And again, I do apologize for not pulling it up in advance. Okay, let's see. So it says, however, the organization has been the center of a major controversy, especially amid the allegations that was involved with child trafficking. The allegations covered in depth by Romanians. New outlet came up as part of the allegation of trafficking against individual ministries in Romania towns, such as I was told Greece, I was told Israel, what else? I was told, and a few other countries as well. Social media posted says local alleged that children who went to the ministry regarding the charity program disappeared. They also claim that Romanian Angel, which that's Erika Kirk's nonprofit organization, was asked to leave the country in 2011. However, no official record indicated that Romanian Angels was forced out of the country. Then it says, in fact, the allegation against Erika Kirk regarding her charity work in Romania appears to be wholly unverifiable claim circumstances on social media, with no formal charges or investigation reported by an incredible source like the U.S. State Department or Romanian authorities. That's some huge accusation that her non-profit organization is run by sex trafficking, by kids, child sex trafficking, and that is a huge allegation to state, to point out, and I haven't heard about that allegation, and that's huge. You know what I mean? And again, I didn't know that she had a non-profit organization. I didn't know that about her, and that's just crazy. And I hope that's not true at all. That her organization is being used to sex trafficking young kids, which a lot of people are against that, especially Charlie Kirk and among other people, especially with the whole Epstein um, case and files, whatnot. And that's just very disturbing. It's very disturbing. And again, it's all speculations, all allegations, but we don't know. We will know hopefully soon about that. Now, going back to Erika Kirk, like I said, I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary because, again, I was going through my grieving process, what happened to Charlie Kirk, and trying to process everything. But then after 3 months later, and things were not looking right or making sense as far as like the turning point employees, how they are lying about certain things, how they didn't want to address certain questions that was given to them, and it just looks very suspicious. And this whole text messages that when Charlie Kirk was alive, he say they are trying to kill me. They are trying to kill me. And everyone at the time couldn't figure out who were they. And then I was like putting two and two together, and I believe they could be Israel. They are trying to kill me. Now, this text message was sent to Andrew Corvette, the PR of Turning Point USA. He also shared that text message to Candace Owens. Candace Owens also addressed that text messages to her audience, to her viewers on her podcast. That it clearly, Charlie Kirk clearly stated that they are trying to kill me. Who? Let's say who's they? Was the trans trying to kill him? Because, or was it someone from that he knew close was trying to kill him? Who is they? That's the $1,000,000 question. Who is they? And I believe it was the Israeli government was trying to kill, which they succeeded, in my eye. They completed their mission to get rid of Charlie Kirk because he had a different stance on the pro-Israel. He didn't like what was going on because, remind you, he was for Israel. He was supportive and everything, but then something started to shift. Like I said in my previous video, something started to open his eyes and made him realize, maybe I don't want to be in the pro-Israel. I'm not liking what I'm seeing. And the Zionists didn't like that either because he had some of Zionist donors. And some of the Zionist donors was pulling back, and one of them took their money, which they have every right to be, because if you donate something, you don't have to continue to donate an organization. But then, why lie about it? Why lie about something like that? And then when Erika Kirk was on Glenn Beck podcast, and she said that that's a blatant lie, that there's no text messages indicating that they are trying to kill my husband. Why lie about that? And the funny thing is, Glenn Beck knew about this too. He knew about these text messages, and he did not push back and say anything. And I understand where people are coming from. They don't want to question anything because obviously when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, it was very emotional, very raw. No one didn't want to give any pushback because, she was a grieving widow, and she's still a grieving widow. And I'm just going to be very clear. I'm not accusing Erika Kirk of anything. Okay, I'm not accusing her of being a plant. Like I told my husband, I need actual proof that that is the case. I don't want to go through that rabbit hole. And we have to be respectful because she is still grieving the death of her husband. However, we have questions. And when you're lying to the public, when you're lying to the viewers that you're doing podcasts to, and no one's not pointing it out because she is a grieving widow, that's wrong to me. Okay? If you are caught in a lie, people should call you out for it. You call everyone else out for it, and I don't understand why you're not calling Erika Kirk out for it. She blatantly lied and told Glenn Beck and told the viewers, told everyone that there was no text message stating that my husband said that they are trying to kill me, when that's blatantly a lie. So I want you to take a listen to what she had to say to Glenn Beck on his podcast.
It's interesting because I have unbelievable amounts of death threats. My kids have kidnapping threats, death threats. Our whole team has death threats. We knew that there was always going to be a threat, but Charlie and I we promised each other we would never live in fear. And he would say, if they're going to get me, they're going to get me. But he was not messaging people the day before saying, I'm going to be murdered, they're coming after me, someone's going to kill me. He didn't say that. And I have his cell phone.
Now, you can see his face, Glenn Beck. You can just tell that in his mind, he's saying, you're lying. And he knows that she's lying, but he's not pushing back saying, no, Erika, that's not true. There is a confirmed text message that Charlie Kirk, they say that. He did say that they are trying to kill me. They're trying to murder me. Okay? And he's not giving pushback because she's a grieving widow. If you caught in a lie, you got to call out someone's bullshit. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? And in a kind of like a nice way, I guess. But she was lying. You can just tell from his facial expression that she is lying. She's lying. You can just tell.
Didn't say that. And so what I do know is that we believe in the power of prayer. And what I do know is that we believe in our sovereign God. And what I do know is that night before, we did what we usually did before tours. We said our prayer. And we asked the Lord to protect us. And we asked the Lord that his will be done. That's what we did. It's interesting because
That's great. Amen. Amen. That's great, but you were caught in a lie. Okay? And there's text message to prove it. Andrew Corvette, the PR, he even confirmed it. So why lie? To me, that looks suspicious. If you lie about that, and there's proof of text messages exchanged, they probably deleted it now. She says she had his phone, unless he has multiple cell phones that we're not aware of. But I believe Charlie Kirk only had one cell phone. But it's possible he probably had multiple cell phones. But let's say she was telling the truth. Let's say. Why Andrew Corvette would say that? Why other people would say that Charlie Kirk, the text message they said is confirmed, is true. Unless everyone is lying, and Erika is the only one that's telling the truth, something doesn't seem right. And when you tell a small lie, then to me, what else are you hiding? If you have nothing to hide, then you shouldn't be lying. Period. Take a listen to another. Check this video. This other scene of. Oh, what's his name? Forgive me if I'm not if I just went a blank not saying his name. This guy from Turning Point, and again, forgive me. I'm throwing a blank that I can't remember his name. All these names I have to remember. You know what I mean? That he even confirmed that Charlie Kirk even said in the text messages, his text message, that they are trying to kill me. So take a listen to it. And forgive me, you guys. I can't remember his name. Please drop it on the chat to remind me of his name. I'm just throwing a blank right now. So take a listen.
He wrote me this: please pray for me. I'm under the gun on something right now. Prayers appreciated. I texted him and I said, I hope you've increased your security detail. He texted me back. He said, quote, I have. I know they want me dead.
I know they want me dead. Specific what he said. I know they want me dead. He's reading it. So who's lying here? Why Erika Kirk had to lie?
Ed. And I don't know who he meant by they. He wrote me this: please pray for me. I'm under the gun on something right now. Prayers appreciated.
He's under the gun of something. So something, a discovery that Charlie Kirk is investigating, okay? He's discovering something, okay, which he's reading, and they want me dead. Who's dead? Who is they? Who wanted Charlie Kirk dead? Again, I believe is the Israelis. The Israeli government wanted Charlie dead because he was discovering something that is big. You heard it from his mouth that he's reading from Charlie Kirk. His own words, his own text messages from Charlie Kirk.
I texted him and I said, I hope you've increased your security detail. He texted me back. He said, quote, I have. I know they want me dead.
I know they want me dead. And he don't even know who's they. We don't know, but we do know. Okay? Now, I'm going to let you listen to Candace Owens. She did an interview. No, Jimmy Dore did an interview with Candace Owens, and Candace Owens was explaining to Jimmy about the whole text messages that Andrew Colbert told Candace Owens about the text messages exchanged with Charlie Kirk, how Charlie Kirk specifically said that they want me dead. Okay, it was not through a third party, according to Candace Owens, and you're going to hear it in her own words. It was Andrew Colbert, the one that sent that text message to Candace Owens. Okay, it was not like a third party or another person. It was Andrew himself sent that text message to what Charlie Kirk said, and then Candace Owens read it. So unless Andrew Corbett's lying, this gentleman, the name that I can't remember, is lying, and Erika is telling the truth. No, Erika is lying. And why she's lying? Why she's lying? Because more than one people are saying that that is true what Charlie Kirk texted. That is true in the text message. That Charlie Kirk said they want me dead. Again, the real question to you guys, who do you believe who is they is? Who is they? I know who they is, but who is they? Yeah, again, I don't understand the lies, but take a listen to what Candace Owens had to say about this.
Can tell you 1000% that Andrew Colbert told me the night before Charlie was murdered that Charlie Kirk texted him and said, they are going to kill me. Andrew Colbert is the person who received a text message from Charlie Kirk saying they're going to kill me. And I'm not getting that third party. I got that directly from Andrew Colbert. He asked me to keep it off record, and I would have kept it off record if Erika did not imply that I lied, right? So, I mean, I'm not saying she is saying Candace is lying. I am saying that since I was the one who put it out there, she's implying that I'm lying and that that's not true. So we have a scenario here where either Andrew Colbert has told an explicit lie or Erika Kirk is telling an explicit lie. It's not up for me to determine who.
Right.
I didn't receive that text message, but yeah. And I also was told by a person at Turning Point USA, who I'm not going to name because they are one of my sources, that Dan Flood received the same message.
Dan Flood.
So there you go. I don't know. I believe that she has his phone. I maybe somebody deleted it, but I don't know why Andrew Colbert, 48 hours after Charlie was dead, would lie to me. He did not sound like he was lying. He sounded very concerned about it, and I specifically said, like, who is they? Like, you know, like he said they're going to kill me, and he said, I don't know who he was talking about, and I thought it's kind of weird. Yeah, that's what.
So, who's lying? Who's telling the truth? You know what I mean? I'm just going to give you my analysis and my opinion. I believe Erika is lying, okay? And like I said, I'm not accusing her of any wrongdoing of the murder of her husband because I have no proof of that, of her involvement of that. But my thing is, why lie? Why lie? A lot of people on social media is commenting about that she's lying about that. She's lying about Turning Point USA, how she's so defensive about the question that's been given, and she's not giving the answers. It's just her behavior and everything that she's doing, promoting Charlie's book. She's being performative. She's not being real. She's not being authentic. It's just like she's just acting. And then there's just the face expression, and there's some um, things that I'm starting to notice after 3 months later, 3 months after the death of Charlie Kirk. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm seeing certain things that doesn't sit well with me, if that makes sense. It doesn't look right. And again, like I said, I'm not saying that she's a plant because I have no proof of that, but the other things um, that is very concerning to me. Uh, for example, I'm going to show you this clipping of this, and then I'm going to tell you my example. So take a listen to this. We all think we know who she's talking to. The comment that she made on Fox News when she was doing her book tour for her husband. Take a listen to what Erika Kirk has to say.
When these people say, oh, they haven't talked about this or done that, how do you know? You're not in those meetings with the attorneys and the prosecutor.
Pause. She's right. We don't know. We don't know what is being transparent of the things that she's saying to the FBI, to the attorneys. We don't know. But my thing is, the questions that we've been asking, you're not answering, because now you're the CEO, baby. Okay, you're the CEO, Erika. You know what I mean? I respect the fact that you're a grieving widow, you lost the love of your life, and stuff like that, but you have to separate the two. You're the CEO, and people are asking questions and demand answers. Okay, we don't know because we're not believing the FBI narrative. We're not believing that the Fed slop. Okay, we're not trusting that. So as a CEO, as the representative of Turning Point USA, as the organization, that is your job and your duty to address some of the questions that we have, the public. That is your job. And my thing is, she's saying that we don't know. Listen, Cash Patel, among other people, said that Tyler Robinson, he confessed. Okay, one, he confessed. He turned himself in. Okay, which the footage of him turning himself in, and this apparently is missing. The footage is gone. He wrote a letter to his lover. So shouldn't it be a slam dunk? He confessed and all that stuff. Shouldn't it be a slam dunk? But no. But let her finish, and then I'm going to comment.
You have no idea. And why would we share that information with the internet? To what?
I can tell you why, because what the FBI is telling us doesn't make any sense. They're not answering questions. After 2 days of the death of Charlie Kirk, they paved the crime scene. One of your cameramen from Turning Point took the SD card. And he said the reason why he took it because he was afraid that it was going to steal the cameras. But when they didn't even take the cameras, he specifically took the SD cards and put it in his pocket or in the bag. It doesn't make any sense. And he was on the roof. He disabled the rifle. Then he put it back together. Then he took it apart, and then he left it, in the woods somewhere. And none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. If he turned himself in, then why not answer the question? If this is a slam dunk and this is your shooter, according to Cash Patel, according to the FBI, if this is your guy and this is your shooter, and he went to the precinct and he turned himself in when this whole mysterious video disappeared, okay, then why not share or ask questions? Why not share everything? You know what I mean? So it doesn't make any sense. So no one's not falling for this BS narrative, Erika. That's what we're asking. And you think that the public is stupid and that we shouldn't ask questions of things that look suspicious. Continue.
Then give the defense more stuff that's not true?
What do you mean? They did say that he turned himself in. It's a slam dunk. You got the guy. They say you got the shooter. You even believe him. You forgive him. You forgave the guy that assassinated your husband. So I don't understand. What else? What are you talking about? Like they're so worried that they're going to taint the juries. They're so afraid that they're going to mess up the investigation. What investigation? They even said that he turned himself in. He confessed. So what's the issue here? Again, it's BS because they know that Tyler Robinson is not the shooter. They know they're just trying to buy some time to gather more information to put all the evidence pointed towards Tyler Robinson. Because let's be clear, that video, you can barely see it. It's so not clear. We don't even know if that is Tyler Robinson, okay? we don't even have footage of him holding the murder weapon. Okay, we saw him at Dairy Queen trying to get a burger and some shake after he just killed someone. That's rich. Okay, I know if I assassinate someone, I'm not going to Dairy Queens. I'm not going to a fast food restaurant. I think I'm going to head head low and make sure that I'm not being discovered. Make sure I'm not going to be captured if I just assassinate a public figure. Okay, a conservative public figure. I think I would let go and not get a burger and some fries and act nonchalant, like, oh, I just murdered someone, so I'm just gonna get something to eat. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. But continue on, Erika.
Like, it's just you. Erica, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, the truth is the truth.
Yes, and the truth, we're not buying the truth because we all know that Tyler Robinson did not shoot Charlie Kirk. We all know this, okay? But you just want us to play dumb and stupid. And I'm sorry to say, I really feel bad for Erika because whoever's talking to her, whoever's putting stuff in her ears, she's believing it. She actually believed the FBI narrative, what they're telling her. You know what I mean? And my thing is, she's not asking any questions. You know what I mean? To the security team, to the FBI. She just believed what they're telling her. And none of it makes sense. And I just don't understand how everyone else can see that some of the stuff doesn't make sense. For example, the text messages, the letter, the Tyler Robinson up in the roof, and then he dismantled the rifle, and then he put it back together, then he dumped it over there. You know what I mean? That's one. Two, the creepy guy who said that he shot Charlie Kirk when that was just a decoy boy. It's just so many things that doesn't make any sense that that Erika's not seeing. I don't know if she just blind by it, like I said in my other video, or she just wants to believe the FBI narrative. And for someone who just forgave someone who just assassinated your husband, allegedly assassinated your husband in broad daylight, you can forgive him real quick in that memorial speech. But then you just going to go so hard on Candace Owens, go so hard on other people because they're asking questions about the plane. Like, where's her concern? Like, especially that plane, that Egyptian plane that was following her for the last 2 years, 73 times. And she's not questioning about that? She's not concerned that, oh my gosh, someone's been following me and my husband, especially me, for 2 years? Shit, I'm going to go to the government. I'm going to go speak to someone because this is concerning. And I have 2 small babies. You know what I mean? She's not concerned about that. It's just mind-boggling. But she's just so focused on her turning point family and Candace Owens, but she's not concerned about that. It doesn't make any sense to me. A lot of things are just not adding up. It doesn't look right to me, okay? I just feel like she's just so focused on shutting down the rumors, shutting down the conspiracy theories, and not actually listening or hearing the proof, not the proof, but the evidence. You have to rule everyone out. I don't know how many times I have to say that. Again, I'm not a cop, I'm not a detective, but I do have common sense. If your husband, who is a public figure, who's a conservative political public figure, and he's saying in his text messages that they are trying to kill me, why the FBI is not going through his phone? Why the FBI is not searching who Charlie Kirk is referring to as they? You got the phone and then you give it back to Erika Kirk. That makes no sense. I was like telling myself, if a husband or a wife murdered a significant other, what did they do first? They question them, and then they grab their phone to check the data, to check pinpoint where were their last location and text messages. They don't give the phone back to their significant other, not right away, okay? So that part I don't understand. Like, they don't even search the data. They don't even search the text messages, read the text messages to rule anything out. But again, they're so gung-ho telling us and trying to convince us, we got the shooter, we got the guy, and that's it. So the public, should respect the narrative, respect the FBI, because we should trust them, because they know what they're doing, they know what they're talking about. Then it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. It's just crazy. And to me, it's just very frustrating. Again, I'm not bashing Erika Kirk at all. Okay, I'm really not, but it's just the lack of common sense and the energy, just the meanness. She's the vibe that she's giving is towards the wrong people. Okay, we all want to get to the bottom of the truth. We all want to know why Charlie Kirk was assassinated. We're on your side, but when your team, the people that you are working for, okay, are lying, that is suspicious. That is a red flag. And for Erika Kirk not to see that, I don't know. I don't know if she's just blind by it, or she's just naive, or she doesn't want to believe what her eyes or her ears are telling her. I don't know what it is, but I'm telling to you guys, I'm not saying that she had any part of the death of Charlie Kirk. I don't know. I'm being quite honest. I don't know. Unless there's some concrete proof that she had any type of involvement in that, then that's one thing. I don't know. But I'm just looking at the behavior, the performative speeches that she did of the Memorial of Turning Point USA. Now that I went back and looked at it, some of the stuff didn't seem right to me. Her interview that she's been doing on Fox News, promoting her book, promoting her husband's book, pardon me. And people are just not asking questions, like hard questions. They're just asking soft questions because she's a grieving widow. And I get that. Okay, you can be easy on, not easy on her. You can still have empathy and sympathy because she's a grieving widow. But on top of, at the same token, you still can ask the tough questions. That doesn't make any sense. And it's like we can't ask the tough questions. And when I posted this video, this video of Nick Fuentes, hopefully I'm saying his last name correctly, of him saying that no one knows. He's saying this, and I'm just paraphrasing here what Nick said. No one doesn't know who Erika really is. No one doesn't know her. Everyone's just being soft and nice because she's a grieving widow. But there's a lot of questions that we have, And at first, and I'm going to be honest with you, I was defensive about that because of the comment that he made, and that was a little bit of emotional. But now stepping back and actually watching Nick's video again, he's absolutely right. You know what I mean? He's absolutely right what he's saying, and it's true. You know what I mean? Like, why we can't ask the tough questions? She is a CEO now. You know what I mean? They appointed her as CEO at Turning Point USA. So with that being said, it's her duty, it's her obligation to answer those questions, okay? Like she said, she doesn't want to answer some of them because it's still a pending trial and case, whatever. But he turned himself in. He confessed. So you're not going to tamper or tamp the juror pool, even though the whole world has seen what happened to Charlie Kirk, okay? It's public, you know what I mean? He's a public figure. Like I said, he's a conservative political public figure. The whole world knows. So that's going to be very hard to select a juror and not say that. It's going to be hard for a juror to be biased about this because everyone probably, watch the news, look at social media. It's everywhere. It's hard not to see it unless you're hiding underneath the rock. And I have to say, I was hiding underneath the rock because I was not seeing what other people were talking about Erika Kirk, of her behavior, her facial expression, how she doesn't give, she looks down when she talks up, she thinks before she speaks when she says a word. I didn't even notice that until now. You know what I mean? Those prior to that, I didn't. Again, I was going through my grieving process of the death of Charlie Kirk and everything, just like everyone else was. And now 3 months later of the death of Charlie Kirk, I'm starting to pick up things that doesn't seem right. That's very odd. Now, to be clear, it doesn't mean that I'm accusing her of the murder of her husband, but I am questioning some of the behaviors and stuff that she's saying. If you can forgive the man that assassinated your husband, why are you not being an open mind of other people that's investigating other things in regards to your husband's death? You're trying to rule a lot of things out, okay? Because I'm sorry, Tyler Robinson is not the suspect, okay? Did he have some type of involvement? Yes. I don't believe he was in that campus, okay? But he knows something, for sure. I'm not going to lie about that. He knows something. But was he the shooter? No. There were multiple people who were involved in this. Our government knows about this. but they keeping that hush hush. Okay, Egyptian planes, Israel. You know what I mean? There's a lot of government, military people involved in this, but they want us to believe and think, no, Tyler Robinson, it was all him. He did this by himself. He executed, planned everything by himself. So take a listen to what Nick Candace have to say. I showed this video before, but it's very important for me to share this again because I missed the mark. I let my emotion get the best of me because, again, I was on, and I still am on Erika's side because, again, she is a grieving widow. She's a single mom now, and there's a lot of weight on her shoulders. You know what I mean? And the question is she equipped to this? Is she equipped to be the CEO of Turning Point USA? Is she equipped? You know what I mean? I just feel like, every interview that she has done is all about CHARLIE KIRK's legacy, the book. I get all that, but don't you really want to know who really killed your husband? Don't you really want to know if our government and other foreign government was involved in this? Don't you really want to know the truth? And I just feel like she's just accepting what someone is telling her, and that's it. Me, if I was a wife, absolutely not. You have to kill me. Okay, you have to get rid of me because I'm not believing the horseshit narrative. That's just me. Okay, and I told my husband that if someone killed you, okay, and you have a security team, and your security team is not doing their job, which they get paid for millions of dollars, they'd be all fired. Okay, because I would have a lot of questions like what went wrong, what happened. You know what I mean? And I have to say this before I show this video. Charlie Kirk was a very smart man, very intelligent, very good with his words. He loved to read. He was a very, very smart, brilliant, according to Candace Owens. And it seemed like that. You know what I mean? But my thing is, did he pay attention to his surroundings? Because he knew he was getting death threats. He knew that his life was in danger. He knew that they was going to kill me. And again, I know that Charlie Kirk didn't want to live in fear. Rightfully so. No one should live in fear by threats, by anything, all means. However, my thing is, if I'm getting death threats, if someone's threatened to kidnap my babies or murder me or murder my wife or whatever, I'm going to amp up my security, one. Two, this is just me. I would never, ever do what word I'm trying to say. I will never do a live. Oh my gosh, I'm going a blank here. I will never do a debate in open door. Okay, like what Charlie Kirk did. I will do it indoors. I will never do it outdoors, especially if my life was being threatened and I had this feeling because he prophesied this years before this incident happened. He prophesied that he was going to die at an early age, and he, sure enough, it came true. It came to light, and that he died at the age of 31. Now, with that being said, you guys, he got that death threats. You would think getting death threats, and he's very smart and intelligent, I wouldn't do a debate in outdoors. I would do that shit indoors, okay? And have high top-notch security everywhere. Make sure everything is to the T. Now, I don't know if someone was talking to Charlie Kirk's ears, saying that it's okay to do it outdoors. You're going to be fine because we have drones, we have this. That's a bunch of bullshit because look what happened to him. He ended up dead anyway. So, if that, I just wish, you know what I mean, that whoever was telling Charlie that he should do it outdoors, I wish Charlie would have pushed back more, saying, no, I'm the boss. I'm not going to do it outdoors. I'm going to do it indoors and make sure there's top-notch security and everything is to the T, meaning that everything is screened. Make sure you check everyone's purses, bags, whatever. Make sure there's nothing that looks suspicious. That would be me. If I was a high public figure, which Charlie Kirk was, okay, and I was getting multiple death threats, and I had this feeling that someone was trying to kill me, I'm not going to do an open event outdoors. I just wouldn't. I would do it indoors. And if my security have a problem with that, then you're fired. Okay, this is how it's going to go. This is how it's going to be. I wanted to do it. I want to do it indoors. And I just wish that Charlie Kirk would push back, because just imagine if he did say that, or if he did push back and say, no, I'm not going to do it outdoors. Then this whole plan of them planning to assassinate Charlie Kirk, it would have just crumbled. It would have just crumbled. But at the end of the day, God had a reason for all of this, which we will never understand. We will never know until later on. This was planned, meaning that his assassination and what God was trying to do as well. I believe everything was set in motion, that this had to happen this way, which it was very tragic and devastating. PTSD, it was a lot for all of us to see this and to witness this tragic incident that happened. But again, it had to happen, I guess. You know, it was according to God's plan, but I didn't like it. You know what I mean? I just wish that Charlie Kirk would have pushed back to his security team, to the people that were organizing that event, that they're not doing it outdoors. You're going to do it indoors. That would just be me. I would say that. And if you don't like it, then you're fired. I'm the boss. This is how it's going to go. I don't feel comfortable doing it outdoors when there's a threat on my life. And again, it's not being fearful. It's just being smart and just being aware of your surroundings and paying attention and having the security team to protect you and protect other people as well and their safety. It's not being fearful or being a coward. And I just wish that would have happened. But again, that was all planned and staged for him to do it outdoors, which is very unfortunate. But take a listen to Nick, what he had to say about Erika Kirk.
Nobody wants to say anything about Erika Kirk because she's a grieving widow. And so that's just decency. Nobody wants to attack a young woman who lost her husband to a vicious public execution and now has 2 fatherless children. That being said, nobody would be saying anything if she went home and grieved. But she didn't do that. She immediately assumed control of Turning Point USA, which already was one of the most influential, powerful, conservative nonprofits and for-profit entities in the conservative movement, and which became far more powerful after Charlie died because of his apparent martyrdom. So,
excuse me.
Within 72 hours, she becomes Charlie's successor. And now she's in Washington, D.C., it seems, all the time, with J.D. Vance, with Donald Trump.
Pause. Now, when he said that, and when I posted this the first time in my previous video, I was like annoyed why Nick would say that. I'm like, why not? You know what I mean? It's not like Erika Kirk did not go to the White House with Charlie Kirk when Charlie Kirk was alive. And I was like annoyed about why Nick would say that. But now looking back and looking at the past videos of Erika Kirk and just her I would say behavior, it makes a lot of sense now. It really does. And sometimes, you know, I have to separate the grieving widow and what looks suspicious as well. And I was not doing that. Again, I was like hiding underneath the rock and not seeing what I wanted to see, because I was grieving myself of the death of Charlie Kirk, among everyone else. So I have to agree with Nick on that point, because I disagree with him. But then having a clear lens and having open my eyes, it makes a lot of sense.
With all these other powerful people. Now, I'm going to tell you what I don't like. I don't like when people take tragedy or a sob story or something that's emotionally impactful and they use it as cover so you can't ask questions or criticize. And I feel like that's what is happening here.
I have to agree. 100%. Why? Example, when Erika Kirk was on Glenn Beck, when Glenn Beck caught her in a lie that she said that there was no text message saying that Charlie Kirk said that they are trying to kill me. That was a bold-faced lie, and Glenn Beck knows about that, and he did not question her at all. Again, just like what Nick just said, because she's a grieving widow, and no one should not be questioning or criticize Erika Kirk because she's a grieving widow. That's just wrong. It's just being what's the word? Not sincere. You know what I mean? But if Candace Owens or Nick or anyone or Tucker Carlson or whatever is caught in a lie, then they blast them left and right. Put it on their social media page. Tell the people, you see, we caught them in a lie. They're liars, so you should not listen to them. But then when Erika was caught in a lie and she was lying, they can't say anything because she's a grieving widow. That's a double standard to me. That's just wrong. You just don't do that. God don't like people to lie. God likes the truth. And when people use scriptures and use the Bible, then that's when I get upset. That's when I get annoyed. Don't do that. Don't use the scriptures, okay? Because God don't like liars, okay? God likes the truth. And when you lie, then that's upsetting to the Lord. And you can't use scriptures to deflect on someone's lying. It doesn't work that way, okay? It's clear cut, okay? And I just can't stand when people use the scripture. Oh, the scripture this, da 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 da. No, that doesn't work that way. A lie is a lie. Small lie is a lie. Don't lie at all. Tell the truth. Continue, Nick.
Like I said, if she were a widow grieving, no one should or could say anything about her. It would be out of line. Right. But we're not talking about Erika Kirk, the grieving widow. We're talking about Erika Kirk, the president of Turning Point USA and close personal friend of J.D. Vance.
I agree with that too. I didn't agree back then when I posted this video when I had a discussion about it, but I do now because, like I said, and like every other people are saying, she is a CEO. She is the face of Turning Point USA. Her obligation, her duty is to answer questions that we, the public, the people, have concern about. That doesn't make any sense. And for you, Erika, to say you don't have time, but you have time to promote your husband's book, that's being dishonest. That's being dishonest to the people. And it just gives people a turnoff. And that's just not right. Because if you have time to promote your husband's book, rightfully so, if you have that right to do that, then you have the right and you have the duty and the obligation to answer some questions that doesn't make any sense. And not be defensive, not be emotional about it, okay? To me, when you're being defensive and emotional, that just means you're hiding something. You're deflecting. You don't want to answer the real questions. And you're just putting the blame on certain people, meaning Candace Owens, meaning the other YouTubers that's making thousands of dollars off of this, instead of like seeing the obvious. Because some of the stuff is just not adding up. It's not making sense. It's not sticking, if that makes sense. Continue on that.
Heir apparent of MAGA. We can't ask questions about who this person is. We can't criticize or be skeptical of who she is because she cries. See, that I feel is manipulative, and that I don't like. So when people start to tell me for emotional or moral reasons you can't ask that question, that's when I get even more suspicious.
Exactly. Listen, answer the questions. You know what I mean? If you answer the question, then we move on. But when you don't answer the question, you're going to have a lot of people have conspiracy theories. People are going to believe something because you're not answering the question. So what do you expect people to do? Just to listen to Cash Patel, who don't know what the hell he's doing or saying, who looks like a cokehead? Sorry, I shouldn't have said that, but I did. Okay? You have no idea what he's doing. Again, it looks suspicious, and I agree with Nick. I did not agree with it before, but I agree with it now. And if you ask questions, oh, you don't respect the grieving widow. Oh, you're stupid for asking the questions. Oh, you know, why are you believing other people? Like, come on, make it make sense.
So Erika Kirk, I don't know her, and that's sort of the thing. Who really is she? I don't think anybody knows, actually.
I agree, and that's why I'm doing this video and asking the question, who is Erika Kirk? Who is she? Yes, I read in the Wikipedia about her, you know what I mean? But to me, it's just very broad. It's not enough information, to be honest with you. Who is she? Who is Erika Kirk? And again, I'm not accusing her of anything, But some of the behaviors she's doing, it doesn't make any sense. And I want to show you this clipping of this woman on TikTok who who's claiming that Erika is a plant. Again, I have no proof of that. I'm not going through that conspiracy. But if people can present proof to me and to the world that she is a plant, please feel free to drop it on my comments and let me know. I don't know. I like to go by on facts and evidence and proof that I can present. Again, I don't know if she's a plant. A lot of people say that she's a plant. I don't know if she is, but take a listen to what this woman claims of Erika, that she's a plant. Oops, let's go.
Erika Kirk is a plant.
Charlie wrote you letters.
I know.
Every week?
Every Saturday, so he would turn his phone off to honor the Sabbath. He would come in, open the junk drawer. Everyone has a junk drawer. Open the junk drawer, said Shabbat Shalom, put it in there, turn the phone off, slam the door, and he felt so free because he was unreachable. Are you kidding me? Shabbat Shalom! They are rubbing it in our faces at this point. Erika Kirk is a honeypot for sure. I'm sorry, the fact she can say that with a smile on her face shows that she was in on it. Not to mention what Charlie Kirk said in his final days. How about those 12 Israeli phones at the UVU campus that Candace Owens mentioned? Nope, they placed her in. They placed her in to replace Charlie to continue the pro-Zio propaganda.
Pause. I've been hearing that too, that the reason Erika Kirk is a plant, if Charlie Kirk is not aligned with the pro-Israel, they have to get rid of him, and then she's going to step in as CEO, and then now that she is CEO, now she's going to be pro-Israel and be with the Zionists and getting money and donors and stuff like that, and all this propaganda. Again, is that possible? It could be. It could be. But we need proof of that. You know what I mean? It looks suspicious, to be honest with you. It really does, because she is taking over the successor. She's taking over Charlie Kirk's legacy, a foundation that, an organization that he built. You know what I mean? So everything goes to her. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That was their main plan all along. I'm not quite 100% sure at all.
Because otherwise he would have taken everyone at Turning Point with him. Charlie turned their back on them in the final months. Turning Point USA put Ben Shapiro on his show after they took him out, and they're literally all sitting here smiling.
Didn't they have issues, Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk? Didn't they have beef at one point? They didn't really like each other. So to me, that's disrespectful. I'm sorry, and I didn't see this. I didn't see that episode of Ben Shapiro on Charlie Kirk's show, but that is disrespectful. They didn't really like each other. They were very cordial to one another, but they didn't really like each other. And you put this weasel in Charlie Kirk's show. It's very disrespectful and rude, and that just looks very suspicious to me, in my opinion.
Everything that Charlie said in his final days just proved him right. He was betrayed by everybody.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. You know what I mean? And Turning Point, they're getting upset and they're getting nervous. They're freaking out. That some of the stuff is being revealed. And I just want to say this before I show you this last video, because I am over time here and I just don't want to take up your time, you guys. And again, thank you so much for joining this channel. That's it. I really appreciate it. And I just don't want to take up your time because I'm literally over time, but it's super important for me to say this because I just want to get my thought process out there and I just don't want to lose it. Candace Owens is not stupid, okay? While Turning Point is playing checkers, Candace Owens is playing chess, okay? She's waiting for Turning Point, that's playing checkers, to make their move before she makes her move, okay? She's not a dummy. She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows. And I believe Candace knows more that she's saying, and she's doing it very smart, very litigiously, okay? And I know people are like, you know, when she's going to relieve this, when she's going to, tell us who really assassinated. Any investigation takes time. It takes time. You got to be thorough. You know what I mean? You got to make sure you got all your ducks in a row. Make sure you're not making any mistakes. And she even said it. There's going to be a little bit mistakes along the way, but she correct herself. It's like all of us do, including me. I'm going to make mistakes along the way, but then I'm going to correct myself. You know what I mean? I'm going to point out I made that mistake. I corrected it. Let's move on. That's any investigation. Any detective, they investigate this one person because they believe that that person is the suspect, or this person looks questionable or looks suspicious. Then they rule that person out, and then they're on to the next one. That's any investigation. That's just common sense. So with that being said, okay, she knows what she's doing. Okay, she knows what she's doing. And Turning Point, some of the employees, they should be afraid. They should be, because why? Again, if she's lying, think about this, you guys. Let's just think about this logically. And I know I'm over time. If she's lying about everything, why not sue her? Why not sue her? Think about it. If they did sue her, okay, then Turning Point have to subpoena every record, every note to the judge for the whole public to see. And yes, I know you're going to tell me, oh, they can easily destroy it and whatever. Yes, they can. They can. But again, there's people in Turning Point USA was loyal to Charlie Kirk, that has done the right thing for Charlie Kirk when he was alive, that are talking to Candace Owens. And some of these people are sources of Candace Owens among other people too, because Candace Owens has many, many sources. Okay, she just don't only just not have Turning Point USA employees. She have many sources. Excuse me. But my point is, if she's lying of this and defamation, they could sue her. You know what I mean? But they don't want that. Okay, they're not doing that. So that had to tell us something, you guys, that Candace Owens is telling the truth, and she's on to something that terrifies them because they don't want the truth to come out. It's just plain and simple, okay? So basically what Candace Owens is saying, your move. The ball is on your court. Turning Point's playing checkers, Candace Owens is playing chess. So the ball is on Turning Point's court now, okay? Checkmate. Now, the last video that I'm going to share with you of this guy on TikTok, and what he's saying, and I do apologize. I don't know his name. I just saw this video, and I'm like, yeah, a lot of things don't make sense and don't add up with Erika. But take a listen to what this gentleman had to say.
There's a lot of things that don't make sense with Erika Kirk. She's not your average girl next door. She came from money. Erika's parents worked for the Department of Defense.
She was getting involved with the government, so Homeland Security and Department of Defense.
Her grandfather was knighted by the King of Sweden. Erika also ran a nonprofit called Romanian Angels, which was accused of child trafficking. What are you doing in Romania? Also, she was an actress in a music video and in the reality TV show Summer House. Plus, she was Miss Arizona in 2012, under Trump's pageant. So wait, you got Trump that's owned by Israel, Trump's team that arranged the interview between Erika and Charlie when they first met. You got Charlie that was starting to raise questions about Israel's influence on American politics. You have the youth of America that looked up to Charlie, and then you have Erika who inherits his work and is now expanding it, completely ignoring the Israel question that Charlie was raising. Turning Point USA is perfectly organized to brainwash the youth, so watch what they push and watch who benefits, because the official story doesn't add up.
And I have to agree. Now, like I said, I'm not accusing Erika of anything, but these are questions that are valid to answer. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying because she was in a pageant or she run a nonprofit organization in Romania that makes her suspicious of Charlie Kirk. We're not saying that, but some of the stuff doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Does that mean that she's a plant? I'm not sure. I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. I don't know. Okay? But a lot of things is not adding up and it's not making sense. And this energy that she's giving towards Candace Owens, and she didn't have to say Candace Owens, but she's saying Candace Owens. Again, she's not direct. She's indirect, where she should be direct. I know if I'm talking to someone and I'm pointing out something of someone, I'm going to say your name. Because I'm going to let you know I'm talking directly towards you. I'm not going to be indirect, but she's indirect. I don't know why, but that's her. All that energy on Candace Owens when she just forgave a man that assassinated her husband. I don't understand this at all. But anyway, I'm up for time. I'm so sorry. Let me know what you think of all of what I just said, what I just talked about, excuse me, and drop it on the comments. Like, I really, really want to know your input and your thoughts about this. Everything that I discussed about Erika Kirk. Who is Erika Kirk? And is she a plant? I would love to know your comments about this. Is she a plant? Or did she really, really love Charlie Kirk and she's just very naive and gullible and she's just really believing that the FBI narrative? That's all I'm going to say about that, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this channel. That's it. I really appreciate each and one of you. Take care. God bless and stay safe.
The podcaster Candace Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's. At one time, an employee of Turning